The fluorescent lights of the towering office building flickered as James stumbled down the corridor, cradling his 5-year-old daughter in his arms. The late evening silence was broken only by the faint hum of computers left on in the offices. He had taken a wrong turn while looking for the restroom, his mind clouded with exhaustion, the weight of single fatherhood pressing down on him like a relentless tide. And then, as if time itself had paused, he saw her. The room at the end of the hall was bathed in a golden glow, the door slightly ajar, and inside stood a woman he had only seen in news headlines and business magazines. The powerful, untouchable CEO, Victoria Hale, adjusting her blouse in front of a mirror. Their eyes met for a fleeting second, and the realization of the intrusion hit him like a thunderbolt. Panic, shame, and something unexplainably human surged through him. In that instant, James knew his life, and his understanding of trust, vulnerability, and connection would never be the same again. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of human connection, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Soul Tale right now. James's world had never been simple. After losing his wife in a tragic accident, he had been left to navigate the storm of life alone, balancing his day job, childcare, and the suffocating loneliness that followed him home each night. Money was always tight, and sleep was a luxury, but love for his daughter kept him moving forward, kept him awake through the nights of silent tears and whispered fears. He was used to the grind, to invisibility, to blending into the background while the world moved in a blur of meetings and deadlines. But Victoria Hale, the woman who had built an empire with sheer grit and intellect, represented everything he had admired from afar yet feared he could never reach. The incident haunted him. That brief, accidental glimpse of Victoria had shattered his composure, but instead of shame paralyzing him, it sparked an unexpected curiosity. Who was she behind the boardroom power suit? Did she have vulnerabilities, moments of quiet humanity that no one ever saw? His fascination wasn't romantic, it was human. It was empathy, an understanding that everyone, no matter how untouchable, had their private battles, their moments of fragility. Over the next few weeks, James found himself lingering near the building, walking past the offices with his daughter in tow, caught between fear and the strange hope of a second chance, though he wasn't sure for what. Life, as it often does, presented opportunities when least expected. One rainy afternoon, the elevators broke down, and he found himself sharing a cramped stairwell with Victoria herself. Her hair was damp, her expression tired but warm as she smiled apologetically for the inconvenience. There was no hint of the untouchable CEO she appeared to be, just a woman, exhausted from her responsibilities yet carrying herself with a quiet dignity that demanded respect. James felt his chest tighten. This wasn't the headline figure he had seen in magazines. This was real, vulnerable, human. He didn't expect their paths to cross again, but they did. The next encounter was in the office cafeteria, where James was delivering a lunch he had prepared for a client. Victoria, recognizing him, offered a polite nod, and something in her eyes conveyed understanding without judgment. Over time, small moments built a bridge between them. She began to share snippets of her life, not the polished, curated story the world knew, but the messy, emotional reality of leading a company while grappling with loneliness and the relentless pressure of expectations. And James, in turn, shared the raw truth of single fatherhood, the fears, the small victories, the relentless love that defined his every waking moment. One evening, as the sunset painted the city skyline in hues of orange and rose, James found himself helping Victoria reorganize a filing room she had been too busy to address. They laughed at minor mishaps, shared silent moments of reflection, and for the first time, James felt seen, not as a single dad struggling to survive, but as a human being with a capacity for compassion, resilience, and understanding. And in Victoria's presence, he realized that everyone, no matter how powerful or ordinary, carries an untold story, a story deserving of kindness, patience, and empathy. Their growing bond wasn't romantic in a cliché sense, it was transformational. James began to regain confidence in himself, realizing that life's hardships could be softened by shared humanity. Victoria, too, found solace in his perspective, learning that vulnerability didn't weaken her power, it made her more relatable, more alive. Slowly, James noticed the world opening up for him in ways he hadn't imagined. Work opportunities improved, his relationship with his daughter deepened, and he carried a newfound sense of hope, no longer confined by fear or shame. Then came the day when Victoria invited him to a company event, a gala he would have never imagined attending. He walked into the grand hall, his daughter by his side, and realized how far he had come, not because of wealth, status, or public recognition, but because of trust, compassion, and the courage to embrace life even when it scared him. The same woman who had once been a distant figure on magazine covers now stood beside him as a friend, mentor, and a reminder that life often rewards those who dare to be kind, to be open, and to see the humanity in others. As the night drew to a close, James reflected on that accidental, life-changing moment in the office corridor, the moment that had sparked curiosity, empathy, and ultimately transformation. He knew now that life's most profound lessons often come disguised as mistakes, awkward encounters, or moments of vulnerability. It wasn't just about the glimpse he had caught. It was about what he chose to do afterward, to embrace the humanity in someone else and in turn, rediscover his own. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, and share it. Your engagement not only supports Soul Tale, but also spreads the message that kindness, empathy, and second chances can truly change lives. Before you go, I'd love for you to share in the comments. Have you ever experienced a moment that unexpectedly changed your life forever?